Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am W2Best and I make videos about tech, travel and inspiration. If you are new to this channel and you watch this video and you like the kind of content that I am putting out, it would be super nice to see you as a subscriber to this channel. That helps me out a lot and gives you all the content that I'm going to be putting out in the upcoming weeks and months. I'm currently a bit on the lookout for what can be my next review series. If you are following this channel, you will know that I made a lot of videos about the Dell Inspiron 15 7000 and then about the Acer Swift 5, and now I really want to make another review series similar to those, and I'm not exactly sure which computer I want to make this next review series about. But a strong contender, and that we're going to talk a bit more about in this video, is the Lenovo Slim 7. I was actually not aware of this computer existing until one of you guys were commenting saying, would you mind taking a look at this computer and considering it for a future review? The interesting thing with this Lenovo Slim 7 is that it comes in so many different shapes and forms. There's both a 14-inch version as well as a 15-inch version, and the 14-inch version is both available with Intel and AMD processors. In this video, we will take a closer look at the specifications of these different models to see if they will be a valid contestant for being my next review series for laptops. Let's start off having a look at the 14-inch model, the Intel one. This one is pitched with coming with a 10th generation Intel Core processor, about 14 hours battery life, a 4K display option, and 3-dimensional sound of Dolby Atmos. All of those offerings are kind of meh to me. Every computer nowadays comes with 10th generation Core processors. A long battery life, 14 hours is a very bold statement. Probably it won't be exactly that long. Battery life is usually always overstated in laptop specifications. Also, a 3-dimensional sound, I'm not sure what that will actually mean, but probably that it will be a bit more immersive sound, maybe by using multiple speakers or something in the lines of that. Scrolling down, we'll see that they focus a lot on the looks with this laptop. They will have a color called Slate Gray, Alluring Orchid, and Nature's Neutral, and Dark Moss. Opt for an optional textile cover on the slate gray model, so you can also get it in some kind of textile fabric finish. That's quite cool and that's not very common, so it gives a different look to the laptop. The graphics options are interesting though. So you have Intel Iris Plus graphics on the processor. That's an interesting offer because Intel Iris Plus actually offers quite a good performance both for graphical applications and for gaming. So having that on the processor, even if you don't opt for a version with a GTX graphics card, is actually a really nice thing. Or you can supercharge your laptop for work and play with latest NVIDIA discrete graphics, optional. So you can choose whether you want to stay with Intel Iris Plus or whether you want to get NVIDIA discrete graphics. Edged with razor-thin bezels, the 14-inch display offers stunning clarity, color and detail. Up to 4K resolution and 500 nits of brightness. So that's a pretty good specification. Especially the 500 nits of brightness is really bright for being a laptop screen. I'm used to using laptops with about 300 nits brightness and I still think that is bright enough for everyday use. So if you use a 500 nit laptop, you really have a lot of power and could probably use it outdoors, even if it's a glossy screen. Then we talk a bit about the battery life, which is up to 14 hours based on Mobile Mark 2014, which obviously will vary quite a lot. And you can switch to intelligent cooling mode, which is going to give you 15 to 20% extra battery life. You have rapid charge. That will be able to give you 80% capacity of the battery within 1 hour of charging, if you're using a 95 watt power adapter. Okay, that's cool. So then we also know that it will be able to accept a 95 watt power input, which is quite a lot for a 14-inch computer, I think. Many of the other ones on the market are using something like 65 watts instead of 95 watts. So that's cool to see. Keyboard looks to be the very standard Lenovo style, so I don't think very much has changed here. I was using a Lenovo Yoga 720, the 15-inch, for a very long time before I used my Dell computer, and I like this keyboard. It's absolutely fine. It's not the same typing experience as, for example, a Lenovo X1 Carbon, but it definitely gets the job done. Then they're pitching some things about Alexa, which is not that interesting. But here, faster than ever, it comes with Wi-Fi 6, which gives you significantly faster Wi-Fi transmission than over Wi-Fi 5 that was the standard before. So that's really nice to see they're putting in there. Let's have a quick look at the specifications. The processor is up to 10th gen Core i7, up to Windows 10 Pro on the operating system. On the display options, it's quite interesting because we have one 14-inch 4K IPS 500 nit model, which it says is the fabric cover model. And then we have one 14-inch Full HD 300 nits, which is in the metal cover and fabric cover touchscreen models. So apparently, the kind of cover that you choose for the laptop will make a difference in what screen options you have available. We have the regular up to 16GB RAM. It's a pity you can't get it with more, because it would be nice to be able to upgrade to 32GB at some point in the future. We have up to 1TB PCIe SSD, which also probably means that you're not able to upgrade with multiple storage units, which is a thing that you can do in, for example, Dell Inspiron 15-7000. For graphics, we have Intel Iris Plus, which is a solid integrated graphics chip. And then we have an optional NVIDIA MX graphics, which is probably going to be MX350, which is the newest version of NVIDIA's MX series. Battery life is stated at 14 hours with the Full HD screen and 11 hours with the Ultra HD screen. If you've been following some of my videos, you know that I'm very interested in the weights of laptops. So this laptop in this model will come in at around 1.55 kilos. For being a 14-inch laptop, I think that 1.55 kilos is a little bit too heavy. I would really have liked to see this be under 1.3 kilos, because those extra 250 grams actually make it possible to step up to a 15-inch computer and not have that much extra weight on your back. Last but not least, the port selection says it's two USB 3.1 Gen 2, so two regular USB ports. We have one USB-C Thunderbolt DisplayPort and power delivery, and SD card reader, HDMI port and headphone mic combo. So pretty much exactly the same port setup as the Acer Swift 5 that I was reviewing previously. Let's have a look at the pictures. Here we have the micro SD card reader, we have two USB ports, and we have the power button. On the other side, we have actually two USB-C ports, so that's not the same as they stated it in the specification sheet above. So this one is for power. Maybe it's only for power because it's actually marked up like a power input. And then we have the HDMI, we have a Thunderbolt port, which is very important in my opinion, and we have the headphone jack. Currently, there don't seem to be any availability for these laptops on the Lenovo UK website, but when I was looking a few days ago, they were available in a few different models and it stated about 5 to 6 weeks delivery time. So I think that's about the time frame that we are looking at here. It's somewhere around middle to end of May where you're gonna get the delivery. That is of course if everything permits it with regards to the current situation with the world economy and infrastructure and supply chain management, etc. We have now flipped over to the 14-inch version with the AMD processor. And this one comes with up to AMD Ryzen 7. It also comes with Windows 10 Pro. It has only the 14-inch 300 nit Full HD panel available. And it has 16GB of RAM as a max and up to 14 hours of battery life. When we scroll down to connectivity here, we see something strange. It's stated both as Wi-Fi 5 and Wi-Fi 6. So I don't know if they haven't decided which one they will put into the AMD version of this laptop. But I certainly hope that they will put Wi-Fi 6 chips in them, because it doesn't make sense to stick with an older standard than what's available. Another thing that I find very interesting here is that the weight is stated at 1.4 kilograms. It actually becomes quite a bit more interesting when it is 150 grams lighter than what they stated with the Intel version. I really hope that this holds true and that this AMD version of the Lenovo Slim 7 is actually 1.4 kilograms. It makes it a lot more interesting in my opinion. We have the same ports available, and we have a few less colors available, slate gray and orchid, as well as the same port selection as the Intel version. We have now moved over to the 15-inch version of Lenovo Slim 7, and we'll see what the differences are and what the similarities are, and which I would personally go for if I have to choose between the two models. In the description, it says that this is crafted from premium aluminium, and it's got the 10th gen Intel Core processors with up to 13 hours battery life, a 15.6-inch Full HD display, so maybe no 4K option available in this model, which is quite interesting with a larger screen but no 4K option. And then again they pitched the Dolby Intel speaker system. Let's have a look at the pictures to see what is different. We see immediately that this one has a full-size SD card reader instead of the micro SD card reader. It has the same 2 USB ports and the power button. It says Yoga 7 series up top here. Looks pretty sleek, I think. And we see the keyboard, and we see here that we actually have a full numerical keypad. And from using the Dell Inspiron 15 7000, I can really tell you that it's immensely helpful to have this keypad available. When I'm doing any form of work in Excel or with any number work, it is so nice to have the numerical keyboard available. So I don't think I will be moving away from laptops with numerical keyboards for a foreseeable future. We see the left side with the same power port with USB-C, HDMI, a Thunderbolt port, and headphone mic combo jack. So that's really nice to see. Even though this is a 15-inch laptop, it is running USB-C for power delivery, which is something that I think is absolutely essential for a laptop that I would be interested in buying to review. Okay, let's see if there's anything else that differs between this one and the 14-inch. It looks pretty similar around here. Battery life is also quite similar. We have, as I said, only the Full HD screen. Yeah, pretty much everything seems to be the same. Let's check the specification. We have the 10th generation Intel Core i7. We have Windows 10 Home, so apparently it's not possible to get it with Windows 10 Pro in the 15-inch configuration. We have up to 16 GB RAM, 13 hours of battery life, and the rapid charge, 1 TB SSD. We have both a front-facing speaker and 2 speakers on the bottom. We have Wi-Fi 5 and an optional Wi-Fi 6. Okay, so here they state that the original option is Wi-Fi 5, and if you want to, you can upgrade it to a Wi-Fi 6 chip. Then it can either come with Intel integrated Iris Plus graphics, or with NVIDIA MX graphics, or with NVIDIA GTX graphics. This is a pretty cool option. This gives you the possibility to make this laptop your own by selecting what kind of graphics powers you want. Are you fine with only the internal graphics, or do you need a bit more power, or do you need a laptop that you can game on properly by choosing the GTX series of graphics cards? Coming down to the weight, we see that they state the laptop to be 1.6 kilograms, or rather starting at 1.6 kilograms. And in this case, we'd have to assume that this is with the Intel Iris Plus graphics model, so you're not going to be able to get it at 1.6 kilograms if you opt for a stronger graphics chip. However, I think that is really interesting. 1.6 kilograms is a very lightweight 15-inch laptop, and even if this is a bit heavier with, for example, the MX350 graphics, at 1.7 kilos, it's very similar to this laptop that I've been using for a long time, and I think it's very worth checking out with the current spec, the current inputs and outputs, and the looks of this laptop. And the specification is exactly the same as the 14-inch version when it comes to ports. I'm a little bit bummed out that they seem to lack a few models and a few configurations on the 15-inch model. So I would really like to be able to get a 15-inch model with a strong GTX graphics card, but also have that 4K 500 nit monitor. But the 500 nit 4K monitor only seemed to be available in the 14-inch Intel version. So with all that said, I think this is a good contestant for being my next review unit. Although it doesn't really make me spark, the 15-inch model, if it would come with a bit better specifications, for example with a better screen, I would be quite keen to test it out. Also on the 15-inch model, I couldn't find any availability on Lenovo UK, which is a bit of a pity, so I can check what I can actually order and see what the price of the laptops will be. I will add links to the products when they are available, and also if they are available on Amazon in the future, I will make sure to add an Amazon link that you can find in the description below. I find this to be two really interesting laptops, and they are models that will add something to the laptop market, although I wish they were a little bit more competitive and put something more interesting, like for example that extra SSD slot into the 15-inch machine, and also made it available with the 4K screen that seems to be only available in the 14-inch model right now, where it doesn't make too much sense to have a 4K screen. What do you think about the Lenovo Yoga Slim 7? Is it something that you would be interested in buying or looking into in the future? And do you think I should look more into this laptop, or are there any other laptops on the market that you think should be my new review unit for these next months that are ahead of us? I would love for you to let me know in the comments below what you think. Should I do this one or should I do another one? And if I should do another one, which one should it be? I will probably get back with a few more of these videos before I select which one will be my next review series laptop. I hope that you are staying safe wherever you are in the world and that you're not having a too boring time if you're staying locked down in your home. I am trying to fill my days with as much creative stuff as possible, and so far I have definitely not been bored, except for some days here and there, and tomorrow we are reaching 2 weeks in a relatively full lockdown in London. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you want to subscribe to the channel if you want more of my content, and then I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye bye!